Hello, first graders. Welcome back. This is week 10, day 1. For today's day 1 lesson, you will need your thinking cap, your listening ears, a pencil, your crayons, and your modules 3 and 4 EL workbook. If you don't have your materials ready, just press pause, then press play when you're ready to learn. Hopefully your materials are gathered. We're going to warm up our brains today with another bird riddle. This is Mystery Bird Riddle number 4. Just like our previous riddles, you will need to listen closely to the details in the riddle. Then you'll decide if this riddle is talking about a flamingo or a roseate spoonbill. Put your eyes on the word this. Try to read along with me. This bird's feathers are pink or reddish, which comes from what it eats. It has a long neck and stick-like legs. This bird eats with its head down. It has an upside-down beak that helps it catch and filter food. Let's read that one more time, listening for details. This bird's feathers are pink or reddish, which comes from what it eats. It has a long neck and stick-like legs. This bird eats with its head down. It has an upside-down beak that helps it catch and filter food. I'll give you a moment to think, then I'll count to 3. And when I say go, you'll tell me if it's the flamingo or the spoonbill. One, 2, 3, go! It's the flamingo! If you got the flamingo, give yourself a big pat on the back. Within our riddle, the first few sentences could be talking about the flamingo or the spoonbill. But that last sentence gives us a really good detail. It has an upside-down beak. This bird, the spoonbill, has a flat spoon-shaped beak. But the flamingo has an upside-down beak. You may remember that fact from our text, Beaks. Good job solving today's riddle. Hopefully your brain is all warmed up and ready to learn. Let's look at our learning target. Today's target says, I can draw a sketch of my expert bird that shows my understanding of placement and details. This sounds familiar. During our last lesson together, week 9, day 5, we did a sketch of our expert bird, and we showed our understanding of shapes and sizes. Today, we're going to revisit this chart. And instead of focusing on the shape and the size of the details, we're going to focus on the placement and the little details within our bird. Now, let's see. What was my expert bird? It was the cardinal. This was my expert bird. Now, we looked at it closely together. We talked about the shapes, the size of the shapes, the placement of the shapes, and we even looked at some details too. And I was able to create this scientific drawing. We decided that it was a good scientific drawing, and it is. But I can make it even better. I'm going to look at this drawing and think even more about the placement and the details within the drawing. Now you may be saying, oh, I think this drawing is pretty good, but I see some details in my photograph that I did not capture in my drawing. Put your eyes on the photograph. Let's first look at the feet of the cardinal. Where do you notice the feet being placed? The cardinal is perched on a branch. Can you make your fingers look like the cardinal's feet? Good. Your fingers are probably curved. But I noticed that in my scientific drawing, I have a slight curve, but it doesn't look like the feet are curved, does it? When I zoom in here, I see that I could make this placement of my feet a little better. I could also make the legs more slanted. Do you see how I'm looking at my photograph and I'm picking tiny details that I can make even better? Now, I see another detail here that doesn't quite match my drawing. Within this yellow circle, what details do you see that I could add to my scientific drawing? Yes, the feathers are sticking up on top of the bird's head. I should add feathers, maybe lines here, to show that the feathers are sticking up. I added a little jaggedy detail last time to show that there's texture here, but I think I could add even more detail, just like this person added details to the feather. Wow, just within 1 minute, I have already found one placement that I could change and one detail that I could change. What else do you see in this photograph that you don't see here that I could change? Yes, there's so many details and placement changes that I can make to make my expert bird scientific drawing even better. And I'm remembering that it doesn't have to be perfect. It's about the process of visiting my draft over and over again to make it better and better. I think I'm going to change the feet so that they're more curved, and I'll add some feathers here. There's 2 changes that I can make just today. Let's open up your EL workbook to page 36 and 37. Find page 36 and 37. Put your finger on the picture of your expert bird, the photograph, on page 36 or 37. Take note of any details or shape placements that you may want to fix or focus on today. Now turn to page 43. You'll know you're there when it looks like this. It's right beside the scientific drawing that we did yesterday, or in lesson 5 of week 9. Looks like this, and it's right beside your expert bird draft number 1. Look at your original draft. How can you make that draft even better? What placement can you change? What details can you add? Share one thing that you want to change from your last draft to this draft. Go ahead and share. Good. Today, for independent work, we will complete your next scientific draft, paying close attention to the shapes and sizes of the details. But we're also going to pay close attention to the placement in the details, making sure that the shapes are in the right place and that you have as many details as you can. As you're working on Expert Bird Draft number 2, remember that our target says, I can draw a sketch of my expert bird that shows my understanding of placement and details. Okay, researcher, go forth and create your expert bird scientific draft, making it even better than yesterday's draft. Hopefully, you'll be able to see the difference of the placement or details from 1 to 2. I can't wait to see your next draft. You definitely have met your target once you've completed that draft. I will see you next time. Bye, friends.